Hi, Mark from CharkBait here, and what I wanted to do was talk a little bit about some of our travel rods. Based upon the input from a client who came by yesterday from Alaska, who came down to California to visit family and stopped by our store to get rigged up for some other fishing he had planned over the summertime on a long range trip out of San Diego. The fellow mentioned, Mark, really was happy. He was happy to see the travel rods. But he said, Mark, you got to do a little video on the travel rods because the website shows a lot, but he's missing a few things that he saw in person on these rods. So okay, we can do that. We can knock that out pretty quickly. Our line of travel rods currently consists of 3 different pieces. And the thinking was that the airlines are not making life easy on any of us. There are surcharges for extra bags, surcharges for lengthening a longer rod tube. You got to look around and hope you get the gear in. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. So first, I saw what Okuma was doing, and Okuma did a dandy job with their Nomad series of rods. And that kind of opened my eyes a little bit that we could do some things a little differently. Given what was happening in terms of the airline industry, there was a market that was unfilled so far from the major manufacturers, and a little guy like me could wind up working this one out pretty well, because I used to do some import-export stuff, working with different factories in a previous career in the consumer electronics field. So I hooked up with some folks, and that's what we wound up coming to market with a series of 3 different travel rods. And we'll be expanding this space to cover some different line classes and some different applications. But the first thing, it seemed to me, that was missing in the market were things that could work with heavier line class. Okuma made kind of a little start in this respect, with some affordable, good quality pieces. And we just took it to a whole different level. First off, we use a rod bag that's similar to what Okuma did with the Nomad series. And our rod bag is really a little bit longer than it needed to be for at least the first group of rods that we had come in. Because we're, unlike, Okuma, typically we're using a 4-piece design instead of a 3-piece design, because with this initial series, we had trolling in mind, on the back of a Panga or a Sport Fisher, and I wanted to run with a unibutt. So we utilized a Pac Bay unibutt. But the rod case itself, as you can see here, there is plenty of room here. There's the unibutt all wrapped up, but there is a lot of space that's left open, because again, space is kind of a premium commodity, and there's always a little more gear you want to bring. You could even stick a reel in here, a small compact reel would fit in here just fine, as well as some trolling gear or whatever. Now, what we do that's a little bit different with these rods would be what I call it, it's kind of a gimbal ferrule system. So here is one of our first rods that we came out with. And you can see what we have is a unibutt. The unibutt separates, let's see here, fairly tightly. There we go. It unscrews, and then that piece separates. So we have a machined aluminum butt section. It can only go in the right way. Locks in, screws down. And that lock in, screw down adds some security for you, and that's basically what we also wind up doing as we move up through the rod. So here's another connection here, and a final connection here. And the way this works, basically, is it unscrews, lift that up, and then the pieces separate. And then it is gimbaled, so that only can fit in one way, and it's the right way. Now that has 2 positives. One, it goes in securely and it's screwed down. Secondly, it comes apart easily, and that can be a problem on a lot of the travel rods that I've seen, where you have 2 pieces stuck inside one another. Hard to separate. The rods use a good guide set. The guide set is made for dealing with spectral lines. Let's see if we can get these in here. They're reinforced, they're triple-footed, they're a good quality component. We do the more boat-oriented rods in a 30 to 50 or really 40 to 50 pound, 30 to 40 pound application, and then also a 50 to 80. So again, we've got a 30 to 40 and then a 50 to 80 pound application piece. And they load up well. Throughout that ferrule system, on a good bend, you can see it does not shut the rod off at all. And these are fiberglass blanks that are very, very forgiving, and they'll put up with some good abuse. A dandy piece to have with you on a trip. They troll well, they get in and out of rod holders well, you don't mess them up. Nice thing. The other thing that's a little bit unique would be the way we did the grip section, and hopefully you can see this. It's contoured. Basically it's a ring EVA foam. So you've got really, really good secure grip on this thing. It's not going to slide out of your hands. And that's double important because on the aft end, given that it's made for going in a rod holder, you don't have a whole lot of grip here, especially with wet hands. But here you will, and it's an extended foregrip. So that's a plus. Now the ones that just came into our stock, we've been waiting for a long time on these guys. Should have been here early December, but things were delayed. Would be our lighter piece. And this is a 20 to 40 pound rig, and they come with two different rod tips. So, we have one tip here that would be a 20 to 30, and then the other tip is similarly labeled 30 to 40. So, again, we can cover a couple different line classes. Very, very forgiving. We use the same guide set. And actually, these are based, you're using the same unibutt, but we EVA foam over the aft section on our lighter stick because the thinking is this is going to be in your hands more. You still may be doing some trolling duty, but the rods are going to wind up ultimately in your hands. And this piece, I can see, it's a 7-footer. You can do some casting, although you do have a fairly heavy aft section of the rod, but it'll do some casting for you. And also, it'll wind up being something that's very, very, good for the troll. Typically, if we do Baja, we do a lot of 40-pound type of use, but there are times where you want to drop down, and maybe times where you want to bump up. We've got both bases covered. We've got a 7-foot version that would be rated from 20 to 40 pound, and we have another 30-40 as a 6.5, and we've got a 50 to 80 pounder as, again, a 6.5. The two heavier ones use a straight unibutt with the machined aluminum aft section for ease of use in a rod holder, and then our lighter piece, similarly constructed, metal reel seat, AFCO, or not AFCO, pack bay unibutts, but we EVA foam over the aft section on the lighter stick, given it'll be in your hands more. So that's the way our travel rods work at present. We will be adding to this series. You'll see shortly another piece coming in both spinning and casting, bait casting versions. We may go approach that one again with two different tip sections. It'll be lighter in terms of construction. Similar as far as the way the butt sections will work and come together with that gimbal piece, but they won't be based on the heavier machined aluminum pack bay reel seat and unibutt. So that will be a little lighter piece and a little less expensive for folks. Our rods at present, of the three pieces that we have, are in the mid and I'll say about $249 up to $300. Fairly expensive, but in the scheme of things, a lot less expensive than the other travel rods we've seen that are made to accommodate heavier line test use. And you can tell that the value just by looking at the components. That butt section, if you want to buy that and build your own rods, and some of the guys do that, typically that piece has a cost of anywhere from 120, maybe 140 bucks just for the butt section. And then we get into the guide sets and everything else, and it's a whole different animal. And we've had different rod builders trying to get a hold of us to buy these pieces. We don't sell them. That's something that's ours. And that's the CharkBait travel rods at present, with the three rods in the series that are based for some troll applications. Hope the video was somewhat helpful. If not, you can turn it off. If it was, good. That's about it. Thank you.